Hey guys, thanks for stopping in again. I'm Vay, and this is not Geta. It's my sister who decided to surprise us last night for my birthday. So yeah, she's going to be doing a repotting video with us. It's going to be her first repot of a plant.
Kind of stinks. My name is Gito, by the way. It's super cold in here. As you can see, I'm wearing my sister-in-law's Geta's nice jacket.
It's 76 degrees in here.
Okay, let's get started. What are we doing?
We pre-mixed some soil, so we just got regular potting soil. We took some perlite and a little bit of peat moss, mixed it all together, 1-to-1 ratio across all three, mixed it all up. And then we have three large, very large pots.
For people that don't know what perlite is, what is it? Because I used to pick this stuff out of my soil when I used to plant stuff.
You used to pick off, not perlite.
Because they look like foam.
No, so perlite and foam, completely different things. So when you go to Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever your local shops, big box stores actually, they have what looks like foam. It's like those packing.
Yeah, like the popcorn. The packing.
Yeah, it's not the peanuts, but like what they used to use before, styrofoam. That's what it is. Perlite is completely different.
What does it do for the soil?
It holds moisture and it keeps the soil airy, right? Because they're not all uniform, so they're all in different stage sizes. So they basically keep air pockets within the soil. So
I guess I shouldn't be putting them out.
And you shouldn't be breaking them down either.
Or that. Okay.
Yeah, so we had originally purchased these plants. They were some of our first plants that we have purchased. They've actually grown quite a bit. So this is a mini Monstera. When we got it, it was about just a touch over a foot, and now it has grown another foot, and it's only been just a touch over a month. So
and is this the same as the ginormous plants that you have out there, the leaves? The Monstera?
That's a Monstera Deliciosa. This is a mini Monstera.
How big do the leaves get?
These leaves, they'll probably get to, I don't know, I want to say like a small
dish,
like not 12 inches, maybe like 6 to 8 inches. And they just look like Monstera leaves with the fenestrations. And as you can see, this leaf is the oldest leaf, and it only has 1, 2, and 3 fenestrations. And if we look at the newest leaf, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So as it gets bigger and bigger, it'll have more and more fenestrations in there.
Fenestrations are those little big bends in there.
That's what it was. It was Rhaphidophora Tetrasperma.
Rhaphidophora Tetrasperma. Say that 3 times. All right, let's pot this thing. How do you do it?
So we take it out. We want to squeeze the sides of it. No, okay. So not.
Don't do that.
Don't choke the plant. Yeah, you just want to gently squeeze this so then it gets released, and then you tip it over a little bit, and then you gently pull it out. So I'm going to hold this, and you can.
It's a 2-person job, people. Don't try this by yourself.
All right, we're gonna take this plastic out. Just gently remove it. So it was not root bound by any means. We could have kept it in that pot for quite some time, but what we want to do is have it go up a pole. So we're going to put it in a very large pot so we can grab.
Here, let me get this and bring the pot over.
Yep. So we already filled this up halfway, and then all we're going to do is create a little divot for the plant to sit in. Go ahead.
Do you put it in the middle? Should you put it on the side for it?
We want to put it a little bit on the side, only because I want to put a pole dead center so we can have it wrap around. And then once we do more cuttings, we can put all the little cuttings around, so then they can just basically cover up the entire pole, the moss pole that we're going to be creating.
Okay,
so yeah,
so you put
we can put it like a little bit on the side.
Pot, and then just fill it in.
Just fill it in.
All right, let's use this thing.
I'm just going to tip it over so everybody can see.
I should have worn socks. My feet are cold.
It's 76 degrees.
We left, and it was 86 degrees when we left. 76 is cold. All right, so is that good enough, or?
Just a little bit more.
And do you usually pack in the soil? Like, am I supposed to press it in after potting it?
So you want to lightly press it in so the roots can have contact with soil. You don't want to leave too much air pockets in there because then the roots will dry up. So yeah, just gently pat it in so the plant can stay upright on its own. In this case, it's not going to be able to. We do need a stake, so we have a little stake right here. Just place it through the middle. Then, yeah, there you go.
All right.
So it's nicely potted. You don't want to press it down too much because then you don't want the soil to be compacted, and then the roots won't be able to make their way through that soil. So don't compact too much, just a little bit. And then I generally just shake it on the side so all the air pockets go away. It's fine. And you just plant it right back in.
What if you tied it?
Yeah, we actually do need a larger stake than this because this was just in a smaller pot. But here, we can grab one right here that I kept on the side. Much longer one. Just place it right here. Until we can get the moss pole done, this will just hold it. So that's it.
Alright, and how often do you water this?
Because it's such a large pot and it doesn't have drainage holes, what we like to do, at least most of our plants, they have drainage holes, but I plug them all. We watch our plants, and as basically we'll stick our finger into the soil about 3 inches in, just around the actual plant itself. We don't want to go too far around with the water.
Basically kind of like this,
right,
where the plant came from, you just water around that edge.
Around that edge, and I know exactly where I planted it, so that's where I'll water. We don't want to water everything around because there are no roots over there, so what's going to end up happening is all that water will go down to the bottom, it's going to collect, and then you're going to get root rot.
And I think that's what's happening to our Monstera that we have in Florida. We don't know when to water it, so we kind of water it every day, and we water the whole thing.
Yeah.
So my sister should take note.
Yeah, so water this, it depends. It depends on the humidity, right? Florida will have a lot more humidity. And down over there, because it's salty air, they're closer to the beach, what you want to do is, especially if you keep it on your balcony or outside, you want to rinse off your plant almost on a daily basis. So just spray it down.
Dawn and water? Like Dawn liquid soap and water?
You can if you have pests, but a very diluted solution of that. But no, to get the salt off, it just requires just a quick rinse off with a hose. You don't want to drench the soil, and then just water it at least over here in New Jersey. In our home, we have forced air heating. We don't have high humidity in the house. Ambient humidity is about 40%. So what we do is water it maybe once every 2 weeks. And when we water it once every 2 weeks, we're very diligent and we don't overwater. You definitely do not ever want to overwater. Underwater more than overwater. If you see leaves drooping, that's when you know that's a good sign to water it. Not all plants are like that, but just that's a sign. If a leaf is drooping, water it.
So I think when we left yesterday, all our leaves were drooping. We're not going to be back for another 4 days, so we'll show you what they look like.
Yeah. Alright, so then let's put this aside, and then...
Alright, so the next one is this cool looking one.
That is a Birkin.
Oh, like Birkin bags.
Yeah, sure.
Right? That's what they're called, those fancy expensive ones?
Yeah. Yeah, so this is a Birkin. What's cool about this is there's actually quite a lot, and that's why I want to replant it. As the leaves come out, as the plant gets older, the leaves will come out more and more white. So all of this striations that you see over here, all the stripes, the white and green stripes, it's actually the new leaf that will come out, it'll be pure white. And as it gets older, it starts getting stripes, it starts filling in, and it starts filling in with green. And then the oldest leaves will become completely green. This changes depending on light.
So are these older than?
Yes. The newer leaves have more white, that's all.
So why are these a lot smaller than these?
Just like with any plants. When it's a small plant, small leaves. As the plant gets bigger, it has more of a root system, it gets more nutrients, so then it puts out bigger leaves.
So can I pot it from this to that, and once it starts growing, and if I want the leaves to get bigger, pot it in a bigger container?
No. So take this, for example. The root system was not even enough that it filled that small pot in, and we put it in such a large pot. Doesn't matter what kind of pot you put it in. It all depends on the root system and how much nutrients it can get. You can't overdo it with nutrients because then it'll harm the plant. So
Okay.
plant is only going to take what it needs. Higher the light, the more nutrients and the more water it needs. So if you blast it with a lot of light, you're going to need to give it more nutrients.
Okay.
So if you blast it with a lot of light in a large pot, it'll have higher growth.
Alright.
But it's
Pot size doesn't matter.
pot size doesn't matter.
All right, so how do we fill this in? The same way, loosen it up?
Same way, I'm just going to add a little bit of soil.
I'm gonna try to pull this out.
And we may potentially have several plants in there, and like with all of my plants, I like to have at least 1 or 2 extras. Only because, just in case, if something goes wrong, you have a secondary plant that you can then use to propagate more.
This kind of looks like worms.
Yeah. So in this case, because we have roots going around, it's not fully root bound, but what we want to do is loosen it a little bit. So
What do you do, just
yeah,
kind of...
just squeeze a little bit, pick at it with your fingers, all around, and try to loosen up the roots.
It's kind of weird.
And continue loosening the roots. Get all that soil out of there. Try not to break the roots.
Oops. I'm hearing little cracks in there. I'm not sure if that's okay. How about that? Let's jiggle a little bit. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle.
There you go.
That's good.
Yeah, there you go. Keep going, keep going. Knock it all off.
Oh, you just want to knock off all the sand. Any Harry Potter fans? You know that scene where they take the mandrake out?
You're hurting the poor thing.
I think if this could speak, it would. And say, you're killing
Alright,
me.
so.
You're killing me, Smalls. Guess what movie? First one to get it right gets a free plant from here.
No. Actually, yeah, why not? You know what?
We'll
I
get
don't mind.
A cutling or a sapling.
A cutting.
A cutting of a cool plant from here. All
Okay,
right, poke
so-
the hole in there.
Yep, there you go. Just,
All right.
and then just take the soil. There you go, I'll hold it, and then,
All right.
yep, spread it around.
And you just put this right in the middle as opposed to the other one that you put it on the side.
Yeah, so
Oops.
the growth pattern on this plant is completely different to the other one that we just planted, the mini Monstera. The mini Monstera grows as a vine. This does not grow as a vine. This is a cluster type. So basically, you see how there's so many plants within this? There's a bunch of little plants. They grow in clusters. So if I were to take all those clusters off and just put one plant, what's going to end up happening is it's going to throw up more and more and more babies. It's going to grow into a cluster, similar to a peace lily. They don't like being in such large pots either, peace lilies, but that's for another day.
All right.
But yeah, just want to make sure that we have it all packed down.
More sand,
Soil.
soil. Sand is in the Florida beaches.
There you go. It's perfect. And because this is such a tight forming cluster of a plant, you just want to make sure that some of the small leaves that are towards the bottom, you don't want to cover them with soil because then they'll end up rotting and then you have fungus issues. You don't want to.
I think that's what happened to our succulents when we potted them. And then I guess when I was watering, so all the sand was kind of going in between all the leaves and all the succulents just kind of died. From
Or you
overwatering.
overwatered it.
Or overwatering. I think it was not me, but the other sister that must have overwatered.
Probably.
All right, and is there a last one?
That is a decursiva, so a Rhaphidophora Decursiva.
All right.
So this plant is actually really cool. When we originally showed you this plant, when we did our first video of the plant haul, we had just basically this leaf with one single fenestration. And then we got another leaf, and now one more. And in this one we have double fenestration cool thing about this plant, as it gets bigger and bigger, it will have more and more fenestrations to the point where the entire leaf will just be a bunch of smaller leaves.
What are you saying? Fenestrations?
Fenestrations.
Fenestrations, not fenestrations. Okay.
Yeah.
So as it grows, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. So you know how there's only two and then a single.
Uh-huh.
It's just going to be a bunch of these. So imagine if this will get another cut. This will get another cut, another cut, another cut, and it's going to keep cutting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is called a Rhaphidophora Decursiva.
Rhaphidophora Decursiva.
Rhaphidophora Decursiva.
What is that?
Rhaphidophora. It sounds like a Harry Potter spell. I can throw the plant and go Rhaphidophora Decursiva. Yes. All right. So what do we do with this?
Squeeze it. Don't break it.
So is it gonna have one root, or like when I pull it out, is it one root? Like one big thing? So when I pull it out, am I pulling out like one plant at a time?
No. It's a single plant. It's a vine, similar to this guy.
Alright, I think that's
Here,
loose
you
enough.
want to pull it out? Grab this little root that went through it. Here, you want to put that plate in there? So, what I'm going to do is just gently shake this one off. For
Pots are
this
half
one,
filled already, by the way.
yeah, we pre-filled them. So, I don't know if you guys can see, but basically, similar to this vine, when we purchased this, what they basically did was whoever propagated it, they basically took a large section of the actual vine and they laid it sideways. So it's just one large section that was laid sideways on both sides, and all of it just grew. So right now, if we were to see, there's multiple nodes. At the end of each leaf, there is a node. We can literally cut and we can get a new plant, but we're not gonna do that.
Well, if you see it cut and missing, you know where it is.
We're not gonna cut it. We are not gonna cut this plant. Okay. We're not gonna shake off all of the soil on this because I don't want to.
Alright, so just put it in there.
Yeah, be very gentle with this plant.
Alright. Well, I think the pot is too small.
I think the pot is too small. No, it's not. It's big enough.
Alright, fill it in, let's see.
It's okay if we get soil everywhere. We have this large blue part. Definitely have a lot of soil in here, but shake it off and then
Shake it. Shake it like it. Shake what your mama gave ya.
my mom gave me this plant.
Alright, that looks pretty cool. That kind of looks like, what's that bird in Florida? The cranes, their feet? Right? The
Yeah.
bird with the three
The bird with the 3 feet.
feet with like, I don't know, what do you call them? Talons? They're not called talons.
Their
what
feet?
are they called? Their
Their
feet?
feet.
Well,
Their
that's what it
talons
looks
are
like.
their nails.
That's what it looks like. Oh, they're nails.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
talons are their actual nails, but I'm just gonna knock off some of this excess soil that we had put in here off the edges. What you wanna do is make sure that the actual stem, the actual main stem of this plant, which we covered a little bit, it's fine to cover it because it has roots across, so it's okay. But I'd like to see it. I don't want it to have root rot, so just knocking off some.
Do you have holes in this pot?
Nope. So all of our pots have holes. I plugged all of them.
So when he was over in Florida a few months back, we potted a bunch of stuff and then we were overwatering, so our plants started dying. And the only way I found out was that I tilted one of the pots and all of this water came out, like gallons of water came out. So I went and I drilled holes on the bottom. And that helped because I think some of the plants revived and the others just died.
Yeah. At home, if you guys are planting, you guys are fairly new to it, I would suggest you have pots with holes, drainage holes, It's a must. Definitely do have drainage holes. We don't have drainage holes in ours because we have carpeting throughout, and I just don't want an accident.
And we have mom and dad that, you know, keep a good watch
Yeah.
of these plants.
Yeah. So definitely, I would suggest that you do that only because it'll avoid the whole root rot situation where you overwater. At least this way, the excess water can escape. And then best pots. I know these pots look really nice, and you can buy beautiful pots. But honest to God, the best pots that you can purchase are these guys right here, the terracotta ones, right behind us. Only because, and non-glazed terracotta. So this way, terracotta, it breathes. It'll absorb excess moisture and it'll let it out. It'll wake it all up from the soil and it'll let it out. You do have to water the plants a lot more often in terracotta because it releases all that moisture, but it saves you a lot of headache in the long run.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'm gonna switch my pots to terracotta in Florida for the plants that are alive by the time we get back.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
So potting done. Where do you place them now? In the window?
So
Or
they're all highlight plants. I had them on, this is a south facing window and then this is west facing. So we actually had them southwest facing, we had them over here. So what we're going to do is we've ordered plant stands.
Mhm.
So we are going to put the plant stands right behind it. So there's the two small plant stands, we're going to remove those. That was just temporary, and we're gonna put two plant stands and then put these guys on them. And then the Birkin can just hang out somewhere on the floor.
Cool.
Yeah.
I hope you guys learned something from this video, how to pot, what not to do with the soil, when
How often to water,
yeah, and like when to overwater,
and when you should wear a coat and when you shouldn't wear a coat.
when you should wear one when it's cold, like 76 degrees. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Tell your mom and dad, because I know they'll like this video too.
Mm-hmm.
And see us next time.
Thank you.